Hey everyone, my name is Katie Chapman and I work at Powdersville High School. I've created an essential skills tracker that I have found very useful and wanted to share it with you guys. So this is going to be a little walkthrough and then I will show you how to make changes and how things auto-populate when you make those changes. The first page here is the Getting Started page. It has a little bit of information about the tracker, things you'll change, how to go through each of those changes, and tells you what will be updated when you make those changes. You can keep this here, or once you feel like you're good, you can more than welcome to delete this tab. So let's go through each of these. The first one is your essential skills. I have space for 12 essential skills in this tab. And you'll put in here your essential skill, your SMART goal, the link to your CFA, the date. This right here will be a graph that will automatically create itself from information later. What are you going to do if they did not meet the goal? And then how close were you after? So this is just a quick overview of your entire cycle of an essential skill that you can use for your data tracking. In the Essential Skills Graphing tab, you will see that there is the 12 essential skills across the top. There's a box that will end up being a graph and areas to put your students and the block or class period. You're more than welcome to make changes to that if you don't use the traditional first, second, fourth, fifth blocks like we do at the high school. The last page says do not edit, because if you make changes, then the sheet might not work properly. So make sure you're very careful not to make edits. So let's go back and show you how this works. So we're going to go to the Essential Skills tab. And I'm going to put in my first essential skill. So my first essential skill is that students will apply dimensional analysis to convert between units within and across measurement systems. Now, everything else down below here, you'll make changes to that. It's not going to change anything in any of the other tabs, but the essential skill will. So when we go back to our graphing tab, at the top, you'll see that our first essential skill has been placed into the box. It also changes down here on the do not edit version. So they will automatically populate. You don't have to go in and put them in 3 different times. All right, so let's add some students. So we're going to do student 1. I'm going to make this really easy. I'm going to just, because I'm not putting in actual students, I'm going to drag through and just pick what we want to. Let's try that again. There we go. Now we have 7 students. And when I did that, you'll see that all these graphs started to populate. What is happening is this graph is measuring how many of your students met, almost met, did not meet, or have not been assessed yet. So these graphs will change as your students complete their essential skills. So you can go through here, add some information. All right, we can even see that we have a student in this graph here that has not been assessed. That's like a clue for me to go and check and see what's going on. Maybe I just forgot to put their quiz grade in here. All right, so let's fill this in. We have our graph. If I go back to the Essential Skills tab, you'll see that graph is actually populated into our first essential skill. And it will do that for all 12 that I have here. Now, if you make any changes on the Essential Skill Graphing tab, this graph will change. So it might be a good idea to put in here somewhere when it says, did you meet your SMART goal, or what happens with those that did not meet? You might even want to say like 42.9% met the goal. Here's what we did for the rest, so that you know what you had here before you make changes, because your kids now, this one meets, it's going to change the graph on both pages. So we've done all this. Now let's go look at the Do Not Edit page. What you'll see here is a bunch of green checks and some empty boxes. This tells us that student 1, 2, 5, and 6 have all met this essential skill. They're good to go. And I need to pull student 3, 4, and 7 for intervention. If you come make changes, if the student now meets the goal, it will update in this tab. But what I really like about this entire tab is that as you go through and your students meet or do not meet their goals, you go to that tab, it's going to give you a really clear picture of how well each student is doing. So my student number 1 is really great. They've got 4 of their 5 essential skills. And so I need to make sure we go back and hit essential skill 3. So that's the gist of the tracker that I've created. I would love for you to use it. Reach out to me if you have any questions. If you have an issue, which has already happened, and it does, because it's easy to make one little edit that changes everything. But if for some reason you're using this and your sheet is not populating properly, just contact me. I can go in and fix anything. or if, let's say, you need more than 12 essential skills, reach out. I'll be glad to pop in another 2 or 3 essential skills. It doesn't take much. It just take me about 5-10 minutes, but I'd be glad to do that for you. Just do me a favor, and if you have any feedback, good or bad, please let me know, because I would love to make this a better product for you. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy.